Jai Jinendra everyone. Welcome back to the third lecture in the row of this series. And today's topic is Dev Gati. We were discussing in the previous lectures of the series about the state of existence of this Jeev. We have earlier discussed about Manushya, Tiryanch, and Narak Gati. Today we have invited Sayam Bhaiya again, who has taken up the lecture from start, and now today we will be discussing about the Dev Gati. Before we start the lecture session, I just wanted to brief you all about the Jeev portal, which is a portal where you can get knowledge of Jainism in the English medium. It's a very beautifully designed platform where you get lecture series, you get different lectures of Gurudev Shri snippets as well. You get articles, and you also get access to reach our Vidwan, reach our lecturers to discuss the topic and ask your query. So now over to you, Sam Bhaiya, to start this lecture, the last lecture of this series. Over to you.
Thank you, Harshal. Without further ado, let's begin with the Mangalacharan. Please join your hands, close your eyes, and we shall begin. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Savvasahunam. Deshayami samichenam dharmam karma nibarhanam sansar dukkhatah sattvan yudharatyuttame sukhe. उत्तमे सुखे यह धरति सह धर्मः उत्तमे सुखे यह न धरति सा गति. जो हमें उत्तम सुख में रखता है उसे धर्म कहते हैं, और धर्म इन गतियों से बंध रहा है, बट रहा है, लेकिन इन सभी गतियों में प्राप्त भी किया जा सकता है. Keeping that in mind, we are starting with the third part of this particular series called Chaar Gati. Without any delay, let us begin with the thing Dev Gati. What Dev Gati is and how Dev Gati is to be understood when it comes to Chaar Gati. We all understand that these celestial beings, which are called Dev, are nothing more than a way where we understand Manushya Gati, and who are actually like Manushya, but a little more better than Manushya. So that way Dev Gati is to be understood. So right now we are in a state which is called as Karm Bhumi, and better than that is called as Bhog Bhumi. So the Manushya of Bhog Bhumi and the person living in Dev Gati, they're quite very similar in their working, their understanding, their lifestyles, their achievements, their issues. So maybe the top level devtas can be understood in that form, and the lower level devtas can be understood through the Karm Gati format. But then this has to be the Karm Bhumi format. So that has to make a little understanding. One has to make it proper. So Dev Gati. Dev Gati is a celestial form which you can attain through the Dev Ayu, the fruition Uday of Dev Ayu and Dev Gati Nam Karma. Now, what happens? We'll discuss about their miseries once we've understood what exactly they are. So, these are four realms: Vaimanik, Bhavanvasi, Jyotish, and Gantar. Now, this particular system is explained in a little different format, whereas in the Tvat Sutra, when you see, The sequence is Bhavanvasi, Jyotish, Vyantar, and then Vaimanik. Why is that a structure? So different acharyas have different perspectives towards this particular thing. Here, these four are categorized from a perspective where the best devtas to worst devtas could be understood. Whereas in Tattvat Sutra, it was designed according to an understanding where minimum number of words can be used in a form of system where the whole structure can be understood and lesser amount of ink, lesser and lesser amount of words, paper is to be used. So from that perspective, maybe Acharya gave a little different perspective there. Now these Dev Gati Jeeves are to be found in the whole of Urdhvalok, in the complete Madhyalok, where Jyotish Lok, Surya Chandrama, etc., and the place where we live, like, Vyantar Jeev, they also live here. So they live on the trees, they live on the temples and places like that. And then there is uh, Adholok. There also some celestial bodies and beings state. So they are basically Bhavanvasi, and then there Vyantar also. But then they live on the very verge of Madhyalok only. They don't live, deep down and below. They're basically Narki Jeeves are only there. They can go. These devs can go there. That is their power. Now, celestial beings, how does a person becomes a Dev Gati Jeev? Generally in Sansar, so Chadhalakar says, कभी अकाम निर्जरा धरे भवनात्रिक में सुरतन धरे akam nirjara kare. So akam nirjara is basically a which is used to understand these devgati jeeves. What is akam nirjara? So akam nirjara is extreme amount of miseries if a person has taken up in their Tiryanch Gati and Manushya Gati and have lived nicely through them, haven't gotten very much frustrated and irritated through them. Such people, such beings, they go to Dev Gati. Bhavanatrikame Suratanadhar. So this person gets entry into Dev, three types of Devs, as we have seen. So it's Bhavanatrik, Bhavanvasi, Jyotish, and Vyantar. These three type of Dev they come. Vishaya Chaha Bhavanadadhyo. Vishaya Chaha, they have a very deep desire for worldly pleasures and worldly things, and hence Davanadadhyo. They are, burning with that desire. Marata vilap karat dukh sayo, and once all these worldly pleasures are to be ended, are to be drawn away, they really get frustrated and they really get annoyed, because of which they attain such difficult places as well, like Ekendri. So if a person lives with a great prosperity and does not understand the worth of prosperity, does not understand that prosperity doesn't come from the things around you, rather it comes from yourself, then this person gets, a bad state of being, and which is, ekendriya, do indriya, tin indriya, etc. Mainly ekendriya. And if a person who has a lot of amenities around them and yet they are detached, they are the people to look for. Now, during the end days of this Dev Gati, these people, like in Manushya Gati, the person gets wrinkles all over. They also, their senses stop to work. the things around them are not that flashy. They don't feel that much powerful. So that way, the end is also very. You can imagine that a person uh, extremely high class standard in around us, somebody who has a great status in the society, and if he or she dies, what happens to their you know mm, qualities, what happens to their capabilities, what happens to their memory and everything. So that way we understand that this is quite a thing, that once we are very close to dying, this generally happens, and this may trouble people. Now, even then, a person has the capability of destroying the illusion and become Samyak Darshan, as we had already stated, that in all the four Gati, somebody can get Samyak. Before we go to the question and answer sessions, I would like to discuss a little more about Devgati from the perspective of Tattvartha Sutra. Now, I'm not discussing that in very detail, so I would request all of you to please pay attention to fourth adhyaya of Tattvartha Sutra. You can visit it from any good book, and you can understand that there are very many perspectives to Devgati. But in order to understand their misery in a deeper format, we need to understand exactly what is going on with them. So, as we had discussed in the previous thing that we talk about this, that these are not just the four categories of Dev. In every category, there are, a lot of other kind of activities as well. What are those activities and how things go around them? We are trying to understand that. So, yes. Keeping this in mind, so we had mentioned that there are four categories. I hope you can see the screen. Now there are 10 types of Vaimanic, 8 types of Jyotish, 8 types of Vyantar, and 12 types of, 12 types of Vaimanic and 10 types of Bhavanvas. Now their types are explained elsewhere, but then I wanted to show you this small thing which you can see here, that even in I had said that they have a living like us. So exactly, you remember the aristocratic period where there was a Raja, there was a Guru, there was a there were Sansad, then there were Angrakshak, then there were police, then there were a lot of people, at that particular time. So similarly, this Devgati is also fashioned with these 10 types of people around them. So Indra is called as Raja, Samanik is called as Guru, Upadhyay, Mahaguru, like, remember in Mahabharata, Dronacharya as Guru. Then Trayastrinch is the Mantri Mandal, the Purohit, and everybody in that particular area. Like we know in Rakshabandhan story, Bali, Namuchi, Prahlad, and Brihaspati. Then we know Parishad. Parishad is other, people in the Sansad are called as Parishad. Today also we use this Parishad Parishad word for Sansad as well. Atmaraksh means Angrakshak, the bodyguards. Lokpal is the Kotwal, is the police. Anik means the different types of army. Then Prakirnak is the Janta, the Praja, the Janta Janardan, um, the Ren that we call. Then Abhiyog is the different conveyances that are used in a particular city, and Kilvishik is the Chanda, means the lower level people who do the cleaning work and the killing work and other kinds of work. So that way, now this hierarchy is to be maintained. See, with Manushya Gati, we have this advantage that a person can renounce any one of the category and become Samyak Drishti and become sadhu and go to moksha. But with Dev Gati, even to their end dead point, they cannot move out of their pad, their stature. If a person is dying, is has lived his whole life as Indra, has to die as an Indra. If a person has lived like a Samanik, has to die as a Samanik. So that way we can understand that position, that political hierarchy is always maintained. And if a person, it is said that when a Chakravarti dies on his Chakravarti's pad, he gets Narak, he goes to a bad place. But with Devgati, they cannot go to Narak, they can only go to subhuman and human forms, which are respectively known as Tiryanch and Manushya Gati. So that way, these are all there. And now, if you can see, there are two places who are for managerial purposes. One is Mantri, and the second one is Lokpal, the governor. So the Mantri and this governor, these two are not found in these two are not found in Jyotish and Vyantar Dev. As you can see this 8 and 8. Trayastrinch and Lokpal. Trayastrinch and Lokpal are not to be found there. Why? Because they don't need management. And hence there are a lot of troubles there. Like, Graha can fall, Prakira can fall from that particular place. Vyantar, they too are completely, befallen always. Vyantar are those who are very mischievous in nature and do such activities. So that way, this particular thing becomes very important under their miseries, their troubles. The second thing that I've gotten for you is the hierarchy in Devtas. So Vyantar is the lowest, as we had discussed. Then the better than them is Jyotish, better than them is Bhavanvasi, and above that is Kalpopan and Kalpatit, which are called as Vaimanik. So in them, this is quite a thing. What actually happens with Devas, trying to understand that. So Sthiti, Prabhav, Sukh, Dyuti, Leshya, Indriya Vishay, Avadhi, Vishay, these are the things by which there is a hierarchical progress. So for a lowest devta, the sthiti will be less, and with the topmost devta, like a person who is in Siddhi per se, they have 33 sagas as their age, Ayu. Whereas here, the lowest age limit is 10,000 years only. Similarly, Prabhav, the impact is also variable. Generally, in our Panch Kalyanak, we talk that Swadharma Indra is the greatest person. Swadharma Indra, manages everything. Swadharma Indra is the greatest entity. Every other Indra basically, takes his power, takes his lead, and do activities. But actually, that's not true. Why is that not true? Because Swadharma Indra lives in the first level of the day, whereas above the other 16 Swarg Devtas, actually 12 Swarg Devtas, they go, top by top. So the Prabhav actually goes on increasing. Then the boli has to be changed. Why? Because the person who's managing is getting a greater reward, whereas the person who is a margdarshak, a torch bearer, is not getting that much impact. So Saudharmendra is actually a managerial position, but a very good manager of that sort. But then he's only a manager. So Swadharmendra is a manager for all the activities of Tirthankar happening in and Chaar is responsible for whatever activities are happening in the Airavat Kshetra. Similarly, the Sukh, the amount of worldly pleasures also goes on increasing. Then their body, the the ambience in their body, the aura of their body, the shine, the glow, the brightness, that also goes on increasing. So below Devta will be found little pinkish, or maybe little blackish, grayish. But as you go up, they are all white. And when you go to Narak, it goes on getting darker, 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 and then the seventh stage Narki are actually black in color, charcoal, deep carbon black. Lesha is also the same way. The Lesha is also getting better as we go up. So the upper Devta is not going to be very troublesome. The upper devta is not very much excited in the worldly activities. They sit, they do, good activities, good deeds. They go for, vandana, they talk to people, they do tattva charcha. So that kind of a thing happens with that people. And as you come down, these are very excited people. So Vyantar can disturb you much more. Lesser to that, you will be disturbed by a Bhavanvasi. Lesser to that, you will be disturbed by Swadharmendra. Lesser to that, you will not at all be disturbed by a Sarvat Siddhi Devta. Indriya Gyan also goes on increasing, and their Abhi Gyan is also expanding. So that way, this goes on increasing. Now, what happens to the decrement? What decreases with these ladder, this hierarchy? Gati, Sharir, Parigraha, Abhiman. These are four things. These are exact four things for which a person in Manushya Gati, lives for. One, he lives for, money, not just money actually, but an ability where he can go anywhere in the world. They can have the best hospital services in the world. They can visit places. Their hospitality increases. So Gati. Whereas in Devta, when they go up, this goes on decreasing. Again, Sharir. So the size of Devta goes on decreasing. Now, right now, we choose actors who have, 6 feet, 5.8, 5.9, 5.10, 5.11. We choose actors from that particular area. Whereas in Devta, Saudharmendra has a height of 500 Dhanush. Whereas we go up, and when we see Saudharmendra, the area also is there, big. The area is big. The population is very, very less, but that their height is also less. The height of Sarvat Siddhi Devta is not more than 3.5 hands. It's considered that. Then Parigraha, that also goes on decreasing. See, the Indriya Vishaya is increasing, but the Parigraha is decreasing. So they know a lot, but then they do not utilize that for gaining worldly pleasures. They do not utilize, like for an example, like big actors, they basically donate their eyes, they donate their blood frequently, they donate their organs. So maybe this is a good thing by which we can understand that their parigraha level also is increasing. What is my body for? Their actual occupation is of the body, and by all such activities they're showing that they do not have that kind of parigraha. So that way, this is also continued in devtas. And then last one is abhiman, ahankar. Ahankar also goes on decreasing, whereas in generally when we see with manushya people, the abhiman goes on increasing as you go up. But then the topmost people in Oxford or maybe Cambridge, or a lot of places where a person lives as a philosopher, the ahankar goes on decreasing. So the philosophical depth, the philosophical understanding goes on increasing when you go to the ladder of devatas, and hence their ahankar level goes on decreasing. Hence, a 16th Swarg Devta is not going to be as excited as Saudharmendra, but he will be not excited. Then who is going to manage everything for the Tirthankar? Hence, Saudharmendra does all the activities. So we don't have a problem with him, but we have a very little problem with this, that, while going up, the parigraha level, it can be understood in this way also, that, a Saudharmendra renounces a lot of parigraha. Why? Because he has a lot of parigraha. But once we go up, they don't have that much parigraha. So, that parigraha also cannot be used as a power for explaining whatever is happening around them. Okay. And the last one is, so from the previous slide, we could understand one thing very clearly, that this is also a kind of unhappiness a person in Devgati can have. Like, they can be jealous of the other Dev and other activities, and hence it will be a very difficult thing, a troublesome thing. Now, Methun, as we generally know it as sex. Sex in Devtas is of a very different level. You can understand that level here also. Now, Pavasi, Jyotish, and persons were the Saudhari Ishwar, they basically physical physical activity going on. But when you come to the third, the physical form of sex doesn't exist. It's just touching. That to is also existing own root, body, and done, and not another kind of accept. Next is they just hear from Swarg 9 to 12. They just hear words through them, calming words, sweet words, nice words, and then, cycle will go away. Then just imagine in their mental contact, an image comes and they are done with it. They do not even need, words for it. Their mental capability can do it.
So Yambia is joining again because of some network issue. He had to drop out.
Sorry for the trouble. Hmm. Let me just share where we. All right. So for Kalpatit Dev, beyond the 16 Swarga, they do not have any sexual desire or activity going on. So that way, this also is a different is a thing where devtas could be understood, their unhappinesses could be calculated, without sex. So this way we can understand the unhappinesses of Swarg Devtas. And let's just resume what we were studying from the PPT, which was provided with to us. Let's just visit a few questions. Now, the first question says that what type of karma leads to a soul being born in heaven? So, how does a person land into heaven? So, if that is a question, the sutra for the in Tattvar Sutra is Sarag Sanyam Sanyama Sanyama Kamta Bhavansi. So, whatever activities in life you are doing it with, you know, a very happy state. Mand Kasha is there. You're not very much excited with whatever is happening around. You're very calm. Books are good for you. Maybe asanas are good for you. You stand in a particular asana for a long time. You do good activities with others, and that's going to help you to land in heaven. You're not very excited with life, so bhav mardavam cha. So that way, this is what helps you land heaven, where you're not very excited, rather you're very good. And if you're very excited, yet there is a way. And that is samyak tvamcha. In case if you have samyak darshan, you can land to heaven, and that's how things go there. Now, what is the minimum lifespan? We have discussed. What is the maximum lifespan? So for a mithya drishti, it is 31 sagar, and for a samyak drishti, it is 33 sagar. Do celestial beings suffer from physical maladies and pains? The greatest pain to life is not a cut on your body, rather how you felt in a particular situation. What was your feeling with it? And feelings are basically a cloud of delusion and passions. Hence, there is no bigger malady, there's no bigger pain than that. Physical pains, they really don't make a difference. Like a child is not very much deluded by when his or her mother is beating them. Why? Because they know there is an intention behind it. It is not the physical malady that is a problem, a physical construct is a problem. Rather, it has a lot to do with who is hitting you, how is he hitting you. Things of that nature are a little more prominent. Next is, what is the main Kashaya expressed in the souls of the celestial realm? So it is generally stated as greed, but then they have all the Kashaya. Just while they enter into a particular Gati, greed becomes a prominent place. It's nothing more than that. Now let's come to what are the reasons we are in Gati. What crimes have we made that we have landed into these Gati? This man in this particular photograph actually looks like Harshil, a little far from how he looks. He looks great. Next. Now there are some food for thoughts for you. Foods for thought for you. The first one is which state of existence is the best to be in human or celestial? So we know we are not going to like Narak. We know that we do not like subhuman state. We might choose one of them. So comparatively, if you want to choose them, there is no problem. But then why not compare it with the best one? So the best Gati is Pancham Gati, the liberation, the place which we attain through Samyak Darshan Gyan Charitra. That is the real place where you need all your efforts. However good you are, however simple you are, you will never reach to the place where you are reaching. Uh, Immanuel Kant, a philosopher, says that every human has an inherent good in them. So a person who works upon their good can reach to human form and celestial form. But when a person who has renounced good and bad and then attained that good, that pure, which is called as parinamic bhav, then only that part can be attained, that particular state can be attained. You are eating a sweet, a mithai, and you could not narrow down everything to sweet, to sugar, then you are not understanding sweets. It's not the forms of sweets that is important. Rather, it's the complete single strand of sugar that makes them, so important and so likable. Similarly, it's not which form you are at, it is more of a form where which form of G you are. Are you a real G or not? So that way, this is important. The supreme value of right belief. One, right belief is found in, it can be achieved and attained in all the four gatis. Hence, four gatis are not important. The important thing is Samyak Darshan. Samyak Darshan also comes with a little bit of Samyak Charitra. Why? Because Samyak Darshan, it deals with Anantanubandhi Charitra as well. And Anantanubandhi Charitra is a part of Charitra Mohini. So that way, very little, very little Charitra is also found. Because without that darshan gyan charitrani moksha. So person be in moksha, then intention is in moksha. So that way it is considered so. There are other processes in that particular thing also. Let's not go too much technical with it. Now, what's the purpose of knowing about the miseries if it increases our misery? Oh, come on. Knowing is not killing, rather, killing is a deed. So, that way, increasing your knowledge cannot increase your misery. It can only lead you to understand what are the perks and what are the curses of a particular place. If you don't understand that, naturally we are in trouble. Like I have filled a form for taking admission in Smarak, and I do not understand what are my privileges and what are my what are my restrictions. I'm definitely not going to enjoy my time there, because one or the other day restrictions are going to trouble me, and one or the other day the advantages are going to trouble me. If you want to learn, you'll have to go beyond them, but going beyond them can happen only once you have understood them well. Now continue. This is continue in the next segment as well. The awareness of future consequences, realization of the soul's unaffected nature, and that way we come to a conclusion that although we all want Samdarshan, Jnana, Charitra, and reach liberation, but that is going to happen in one of the gatis. But whatever gati we are in, it's different gati, or rather it is important. Are we attaining the true happiness, the true knowledge, and true understanding? If that is not happening, then we are really able and this particular series of Gati. Over to you, Harshil.
Thank you so much, Sayam Bhaiya. So today we are concluding this three lecture series, the states of existence. In today's lecture, Sayam Bhaiya beautifully explained about the entire Dev Gati psychology. What are the Kashaya that majorly happen? What lead to your Utpatti in Dev Gati? And what are the different hierarchy levels in Dev Gati? So earlier we were keeping this as a two lecture series, but since Sayam Bhaiya know this topic well and he know that Dev Gati will entirely take one lecture to be explained because it is important, and he has beautifully done his research well, explained every hierarchical level in a very better way, taking the help of the Tvar Sutra and everything. So all the course material are already there on the portal. And if you need any help for other course materials which Bhaiya presented in today's lecture, feel free to reach out to us. Anybody having any question from Sayam Bhaiya about the topic? Okay, yeah. Uh, I don't think so, Sayam Bhaiya. I have one small topic for which I need you to just throw some light. Since we are concluding this topic today, could you roughly and shortly explain about the Gamana Gaman of each Gati? That Dev Gati, after Dev Gati, where is can the person be there? In Dev Manushya Gati or either in Narak Gati? What is the Gamana Gaman of these four Gati? If you can shortly explain and conclude this.
To be a little more precise, I'm taking the help from Tattvarth Sutra, a Tika of Tattvarth Sutra. Do we have a chart for this, Harshil, or I'll just throw some light from my memory only?
Yes, yes, you can verbally explain as of now.
All right. We'll just discuss it in very simple form because technically it will uh, any person who is in Narak can go to Manushya or Tiryanch. Any person who is in Dev can go to Manushya and Tiryanch. That's a simple thing. Any person who is in any Jeev who is in Tiryanch or Manushya form can go to any of the four Gatis. This is the most simplest explanation to Gamanagama. But if you're looking for a little more precise one, then I have this with me. Asangi Panchendriya can go to only Bhavanvasi and Vyantar. A person who is Sangi and from Bhog Bhumi, but with Mithya Darshan, is going to go to Bhavanatrik, but with Samyak Darshan, he is going to go for Vairani. Person who is from Karm Bhumi, if with Mithya Darshan, then they will go to Bhavanatrik to Sahasrar. And if a person is with the Karm Bhumi and Samyak Darshan,
We'll wait for Sayam Bhaiya to join in and conclude the lecture.
Sorry, I'm new to this entire thing.
Yes.
Just wanted to know, is there something happening all through the week in English, please?
Okay, so till Sayam Bhaiya joined, let me answer your question. Just a sec. I'll come back to you since Sayam Bhaiya is here. I'll conclude the lecture and then I'll just give you an answer.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll come back to your question.
I think mindfulness is really giving peace.
That's okay, Sayam Bhaiya. You can just keep your video off and conclude this.
Acha, okay. Fine. Mm. So as we had seen from different places of Manushya and Tiryanch, how a person goes to Dev Gati. Similar is the form with Narak Gati as well. If a person is in uh, Hamyak Darshan, is going to go to um, first Narak only, and the age limit is also going to be lesser. Whereas a person with Mithya Darshan, if he or she or any Narki or any Tiryanch is going to Narak, they can go to any of the seven Narakas. Similarly, with the fashion, if a person is from Yantar Bhavanvasi,
Since there is some network issue from Sayam Bhaiya's end, I guess Gamana Gaman, most of the things we have already covered, and the rest of the things we will post it in the resources tab. So, yeah, that's all for today. Before we end the session, let me just come back to Alpana ma'am's question. So, I'll shortly tell you what is Jeev. Jeev is basically Jain English Education and Values, where you will get to learn Jainism in English medium. Okay, that's it. No Hindi, only English format is used here. So, if you
Okay.
want regular updates regarding what's happening around Chief, you can just go to the website. You can join our WhatsApp community for the updates. Basically, what we do is we take a topic, divide it into two, three segments, two, three lecture series, bring out a Vidwan who is expert in the topic, and that Vidwan will be explaining the topic in and out in the research and analytical format, like what you have seen today, English medium. And all the lectures will be uploaded to the portal. And on an average basis, we usually conduct one lecture in a week or sometimes two lecture in a week as well. Since last 10 days, we were celebrating Dashalakshan Mahaparv. So we have given a pause to these lectures and we have initiated those 10 virtues, those 10 Dashalakshan Dharma lectures each single day. And that is, those were not the live lectures. Still, if you want to enjoy it, you can go to the website or the YouTube channel of Jeev Portal and enjoy those lectures. So this is the format, and on every, I'll just shortly tell you how to access Chief Portal since you are new to this. So basically, how to access, I'll tell you. Visit the G website under the resources tab, which is highlighted. Navigate to the topic you want to explore. Let's say today we're learning four states of existence. Once you'll click on it, it will get a pop-up feature here. When you click on the topic, you will receive a link to access the course, and here the entire dashboard, you can see it. You can view your course on your dashboard like this and select the course you wish to access, and you will gain entry to its content, which includes this articles, presentations, quizzes, and much more. So every resources tab, you will get YouTube links, you will get articles, you will get quizzes, you will also, the most important part is Gurudev Shri lecture snippets. So let's say about four Gati, the four existence, whatever Gurudev Shri spoke in any of his pravachan entirely, we have took that snippet of 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever the duration it is, converted it into an English subtitle form and presented it there. So this is the format of Jeev. All the accessible points are there right in front of you. You can just, to summarize, you can email support@jeev.net.in. This is the website, jeev.net.in resources. And if you can also log in or subscribe our YouTube channel, Jeev Portal, and join our WhatsApp community. You will get all the details there. If there is anything else I can help, please feel free to reach out. Happy to help you all. So this is the format of Jeev. Now, I do you have any other questions? Anybody?
So weekly, you will be posting out details on the G WhatsApp group, and
Yes.
all the lectures that have been done, I can go on the portal and access them. Am I
Yes.
right?
Yes, you can
Okay.
access it. So once you join the WhatsApp community, you will get updates on when the next lecture is,
Yeah,
who's going to be taking the lecture. So everything is there. So you can join the WhatsApp community and take benefit of this beautiful platform designed by a team.
And also, do you have anything for children? I have two children, 9 and 14.
So yeah, so these lecture topics are designed in such a manner that Dev Darshan is one such topic, which can be a good bet for small kids. So
Okay.
you can select the topic which is beneficial for them, and you can just play it if they wanted to learn in English.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just segregate the topics as per your need, and they can go to the visit the lecture.
Thanks so much, Harshal Bhai. It's really lovely connecting with you, and you will see me more frequently in all of these sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Very happy that people are joining in. And
Um,
yes, yes, okay. Okay, so let's end the lecture with Jinwani Stuti. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है
Uh,
इस
yeah, can I ask one question? Or Hello.
पाड़ी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. Yes, tell me. Go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I for the children in Magam Honors, they have started a youth session for children
Okay.
specifically in English. So
Okay.
if she visits the site of Magam Honors, she can get an access for that. For it is from I think 13 to 30 years, and the topics are very dynamic for this age group. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so.
Secondly,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a, yeah, I had a question. Are we discussing the Manushya Gati in this series, or we have discussed
We have
already?
discussed already. This is the third lecture of the series, and if you want to go to the Manushya Gati, you can go to the portal and click on the lecture 1 and 2 to know about the previous lectures.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for your feedback on
Oh, okay.
Paramahansa Honor.